this chapter, I'm going to show you how to make rings. I make rings from 1.1 millimeter thick, 0.075 inches soft wire. Basic shapes for rings can look very different. Here are some examples. The size of the rings I make can be adjusted. I mean that they are wound round like this and have an open end. You can then enlarge them or make them smaller with pliers. Of course, I also make fixed rings as well. But when I sell rings, I need them to be adjustable to be able to adjust them for anyone. Every single ring has a loop at one end and some shape at the other, ending in a loop. Why does it need to end in a loop? Imagine that that shape is on the upper side of the finger and we will attach a stone to it. In order to be sure that the wire with the stone won't slip away, we make a loop at the end and it will serve as a pretty clasp. I can make a basic shape. So I take the wire and make the first loop. Into that loop I insert my pliers and start making further shapes. I work intuitively. I haven't made any design plans ahead of time. Now I could go back here, squeeze a bit. Turn around. Another curve and back. Okay. Now it's quite big. My basic shape has changed into a more complicated one. It's the shape which will be on the upper side of my finger. But it's going to change before it's ready. I take it into account. I'm going to need 8 more centimeters, about 3 more inches of wire, so I cut it off. And make the loop on the other end. And straighten it up. And I have the basic shape for the ring. Now I beat the shape. Here I have to do the waves. Here it has crossed over. I'd like to hammer the spiral, so I'll open it to get there. Now I can close it. Remember that this all must fit on one finger. So I need to condense the shape if I want the whole thing to fit on my finger. I bend it where the wire is not hammered. It also looks very nice when you pull the sides of the design into layers, one above another. But I'd like to hammer out that arc there. The arc is finished. Now turn it down inside. What's next? Whenever I don't know what to do next, I put it on my finger and it gives me new ideas. I might beat it here. Yes, that's fine. And now I'll work on the part which will form the circle of the ring. I only tap the loop softly. And once more back. And close the loop. I have one part finished. The shape is quite complicated now. It's not necessary. It can be a simple shape as well. A simple wave would be enough. You can put a stone or pearl in the center of the wave and you have a beautiful ring. I'll take my complex shape and we'll continue. When I put the piece on my finger, I can see that the shape is quite extensive and flat at the same time. But the finger is round, so we have to make the shape round too. When I need to bend something so large, I use a second pair of pliers to help, because it would be too hard to bend with my hand. I'll try it on. Now it goes with the shape of my finger. Now I'm going to shape the circle of the ring. I bend it gradually. To make it more or less round. Surprisingly, rings don't need to be round. The main requirement for a ring is that it has to fit, not to be tight or too loose for your finger. It is also important that it is smooth so it doesn't prick your finger. But it doesn't need to be round. It can be an uneven or oblong shape. You always see the upper part anyway. People don't usually see what it looks like when not on the finger. And if this were to ever happen, well, it's nobody's business anyway. So don't get disheartened if your ring is not perfectly round. It happens to me often too. But they are still popular. Now it's twisted. I'll try it on my finger. The size is good, but here it pushes into my finger a bit, and I'll have to amend it. Try it on again. It's too much, so it sticks out. I'll straighten it back. It would also be good if this end lies closer to the finger. Now it fits just fine.
Teď se mi to začalo docela hodně líbit.
And now I'm going to consider how to adorn it. When adorning rings, it is imperative that the stone fits well, that it doesn't twist or prick your finger.
Nějak ostrý, aby třeba nepíchal skrz ten tvar do prstu.
I'm trying out different places to put it.
To šlo dát.
Perhaps I can try to find a different one, or a pearl. I'll put a pearl in it. It will go with the necklace and bracelet I was making in the previous chapters. Stones or pearls can be attached with the ordinary thin wire with which we usually decorate, or with slightly thicker wire. Especially if we are prone to ring destruction, like Frodo. A ring is the most exposed jewellery because we put our hands everywhere all the time. So if we want to have a sturdier ring, we can attach stones with a thicker kind of wire. I'm going to use the thinner kind now, because it's easier to work with. Wind around 3 times. Cut the end off. And be sure that, in rings, you don't put the end on the reverse or face sides, but instead to the side. On the reverse, the ends could scratch your finger, and on the face side, they could snag your clothes. So squeeze it onto the side. Now the pearl. Here, opposite this. Tighten up well and wind around 3 times. Or 4 times. Cut off the end. And squeeze to the side. Okay. And the ring is finished. This is the kind of ring with an adjustable size. I can use my pliers to make it bigger or smaller.
Nebo zmenšit. Postupně po kousíčkách si to přeměním tu velikost.
If I want the ring to be a lot more durable and I'm making it for myself or can measure it on someone, I can make it into a fixed size ring.
Nebo si ho můžu na někom naměřit, tak já ten prstýnek mohu udělat i napevno.
By cutting the end off first so that it goes through well.
Tady ustříhnu, aby se mi to lépe provlíkalo. Prostě jednoduše.
Then I can thread it through here. I'll try it on for size.
Tak.
This is the right size.
Takhle je to. Dobrá velikost. A teď
and now I'll bend the end outwards.
Vyhnu takhle směrem ven. Tady.
And I will cut off here. And close. It's a little deformed now, so I'll make a circle again. And try it on.
Udělá na prstě.
It fits quite well. I will just pull this spiral closer to the finger. Now it's fine. It will be a nice part of the pearl set we have created.
K těm ostatním perlám, myslím, úplně perfektní.